Hey everyone, so the KC Cup in Chinese Duel Links just finished a few days ago and I'll be talking about the event, how I went, and the meta. As for my rank, I finished at 4,600 with 18,000 DP, which is a lot lower than I usually get in the global version, but for my excuses is I just didn't have enough games played and my deck wasn't really complete. But anyway, yeah, I used what I had and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the event, not really with my result, but I did enjoy the event. So in the global version of KC Cup, it goes for 72 hours, but in this event, it only goes from 9 AM to 11 PM on Saturday and Sunday, which is like 28 hours, I think, in total. So the amount of time you can play is actually a lot lower, which really means that you need to play for like the entire event if you want to do well. So just talking about the meta in the event. So I was taking notes on all the opponent decks I played against, and 64% of my games were against Machina, 20% were against Gravekeeper, 9% were against 6 Samurai, and 7% were against other decks. So this is a really crazy event because in all the global KC Cups, there's never been one deck represented this much ever. Like, I know there's been times when it's pretty high, like 40 to 50%, for example, like Heroes or like Cyber Angels and stuff. But like, this is like pretty absurd how popular Machina really was. I'll just show a brief Machina deck and what it looks like. So you have the gear frames and fortresses, and yeah, you basically just beat them down with this. So one counter to the deck was using 30 card Gravekeepers. This deck, you basically aim to stall and deck out your opponent by using your Spies and Noblemans to stall, and then you can drop Oracle and basically put all your opponent's monsters down 2000 attack, which usually makes them 0 attack. So yeah, you just aim to stall and deck them out with this way. The other deck was 6 Samurai. They weren't as strong, but they were a good beatdown deck and they had draw power and special summoning, which is good. So since Machina was so common, what people did was they wanted to run counters to the deck. The easiest and basic counter was DD Assailant because it banishes Machina Fortress without targeting, so it's a great removal option. Other options were Magnetic Mosquito. This is a flip effect monster that destroys all machine monsters on the field. So because of all these counters against Machina, Machina players started running equip spells like Wicked Breaking Flameberg Bow or Gravity Blaster, or running monsters such as Ally of Justice Reverse Breaker. So these cards really help against the face down defense position monsters. So to show what decks I used during the event, at the start of the event I was just using a really basic machine deck, but I only had one gear frame and one fortress, so it was pretty poor. So I looked at what cards I owned and I found I had some Gravekeeper cards. So I just added in some Gravekeeper cards and then played it from there, and it was working okay actually, but still it wasn't that good, wasn't that consistent. So eventually I finally managed to get another fortress and another gear frame. So I had 2 of each, and then I could make a semi-decent machine deck. It wasn't that great since I still needed another fortress and gear frame, but it was better than nothing. So yeah, as you can see, I have a lot of cards to deal with the mirror match. So DD Assailant and DD Warrior, and then against Gravekeepers I had Reverse Breaker. Network Trapper was good against both decks, but people started playing around it and it wasn't as good as what I expected before the event. So yeah, people started to play around it and it made it difficult to use. For my skill, I used Prescience. It was a level up reward, so that was one reason I used it since I didn't need to farm. It actually has really good synergy with the deck because if you know what your opponent's playing, you can change your first turn accordingly. And also, if you don't like the top card of your deck, you could do something like summon Gear Frame and then shuffle your deck so you can hope to draw a back row instead of a monster. Also, if you don't like the top card of your opponent's deck, you can force them to shuffle their deck by attacking into cards like Gravekeeper Spy or Nobleman or Recruiter or Bee Buster Drake, just so they shuffle their deck so they have a lower chance of drawing it for the next turn. So stuff like that helped me win a few games just to manipulate the top card of the deck. Also, if you pay attention to like which card they draw and if they set it, it's really good to use Electro or Galaxy Cyclone to get rid of it. Taking a look at some of my matchups, in the Machina mirror match I won 64% of my games, against Gravekeeper 33%, against 6 Samurai 57%, and against other 60%. So I was really happy I could get a 64% win rate in a mirror match, especially as my deck wasn't that complete and I only had 2 gear frame and 2 fortress, and everyone else was running 3 of each. I think my tech choices in the deck really helped out in the mirror match, so I'm really happy. Against Gravekeeper, the matchup is really hard. You either need to get a really good hand at the start and just blow them out quickly, or just hope they brick, because in the long run, they're going to just out-resource you, and there's going to be no way you can beat them in the long run. So that's it for the information about the event, and I took a few replays, so I hope you enjoy looking at them. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like button, comment and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any more of my future videos. See you in the next video.